Identify yourself, please.
This is Detroit's Progressive Talk, 1310 WDTW, Dearborn, Detroit.
Stay tuned for the Medical Marijuana Radio Show, brought to you by the American Medical Marijuana Professionals on Gratiot and Roseville. For certifications, call 1-877-RX-420-99.
The comments, ideas, and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the show participants only. Nothing stated in this program reflects the ideas, opinions, or beliefs of this radio station and or Clear Channel Radio.
Hey, Steve Greene here for the Medical Marijuana Certifications at AMMP. They're the American Medical Marijuana Professionals. You'll find them just north of Utica Road on Gratiot in Roseville. Their address is 28349. Now, call-ins are welcome, but you're better off calling for an appointment. They have a toll-free number, 877-RX-420-99. That's 877-RX-420-99 for American Medical Marijuana Professionals. That's AMMP on Gratiot in Roseville.
The Greene Collective.
Hey, medical marijuana patients, it's time to discover what all the buzz is about in Ann Arbor.
The Greene Collective.
The Green Bee Collective is busy making sure your patient needs are met with high-quality, locally grown meds.
The Greene Collective.
Get to know the information, the research, the benefit available to your condition.
The Greene Collective.
Weekly specials in just minutes from downtown Ann Arbor and I-94.
The Greene Collective.
The details are sweet at mmmgreenbee.com. Call 734-929-2553 now.
Well, this formula is specifically to grow cannabis.
That's Ray Kogo for Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients.
Now, everybody knows that large buds and tight buds come from genetics, and then the amount of light you use. The other part is having the correct nutrients that the plant's going to use. Mine specifically to grow cannabis, so it's going to get everything that it needs.
Ray knows what you may not. Those nutrient companies you can get in most grow shops are not cannabis specific. That means they take the stuff out of the bloom that your plant needs in bloom. You can get Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients too. It's just 2 1-gallon jugs that make over 600 gallons of nutrients, all for less than $100. See the difference for yourself.
More trichomes, bigger buds, faster growth, and for less money.
Go to CANNABISformula.com or call Ray direct at 517-375-8998. That's 517-375-8998. Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients. Medical Marijuana Certification. And now you can find out everything you need to know online at getpotid.com. Or write down this toll-free number, 855-DOC-CERT. A friendly specialist will direct you to our Farmington Hills office. Medical Marijuana Certification. GetPotID.com. It's the key to getting your card. Information, resources, and in the end, if you're qualified, a medical card. Call toll-free right now, 855-DOC-CERT. That's 855-DOC-CERT. It's GetPotID.com. The patient's place for medical marijuana education and safe access is Third Coast. Beautiful downtown Ypsilanti is where you can get safe, affordable access to education and materials concerning your specific needs and quality products designed to meet your exacting needs. It's the Third Coast, 19 North Hamilton in Ypsilanti. Convenient hours, friendly, professional, compassionate. Call Third Coast today, 734-487-5402. That's the Third Coast Compassion Center in downtown Ypsilanti, 734-487-5402. The law offices of Targowski & Grow remind you to stand up for your rights. Always treat law enforcement with respect, but if you're detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, I respectfully invoke all of my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search or seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to talk to my attorneys, John Targowski and Daniel Groh. Targowski & Groh have the education and experience you need to be successful in Michigan courts. Call Targowski & Groh toll-free, 800-957-1069. The law offices of Targowski & Groh, 800-957-1069. The Ohm of Medicine is a state-of-the-art facility in Ann Arbor where art and passion meet patience and safe quality access. Get to the place that has top-of-the-line security, atmosphere, art, and most importantly, a highly trained and caring, compassionate staff. And the convenience is clear. Ohm of Medicine is easy to get to in downtown Ann Arbor. Private, well-maintained, handicap-accessible restrooms, convenient, secure parking in 2 nearby lots with complimentary validation. The Ohm of Medicine. Log on to omofmedicine.org.
The following presentation is controversial and may be offensive to some audiences.
The State Attorney General's office speaking with residents tonight, trying to help define Michigan's medical marijuana law. Today's seminar was to help local governments and police officers understand just what's legal and what isn't. WDTW TV5's Eric Horn reports.
There are many gray areas.
Timothy Gill from the Michigan State Police is referring to Michigan's medical marijuana law.
It's been very challenging because there's been so many areas of concern, so many, what I guess you'd call gray areas within the law.
But advocates see it differently.
We don't see the law as vague as they do. We see it as an umbrella of protections for sick people.
Today's seminar is just one of several the Attorney General's been holding throughout the state over the past month. The aim is to better inform local government and law enforcement officials about Michigan's medical marijuana law.
Our job is to help your local police that's driving down the road or going to a scene and trying to figure out how they best handle that situation that both protects public safety and tries to implement what the real goal of the law was to help people who are seriously ill.
When the law was passed, no one had any idea how many applications would come in. To date, nearly 200,000 applications have been processed with 120,000 active registered patients.
It can be anybody, any resident of the state of Michigan who qualifies by virtue of the fact that they suffer from a debilitating condition identified in the Act.
Gray areas or not, patients say they still need their medicine.
They don't have to feel degraded or less than human because they seek an alternative type medicine or a holistic health choice.
In Saginaw, Eric Horn, WNEM TV5.
And the Attorney General's office will host a similar presentation in Traverse City tomorrow.
Countdown to launch. It's the medical marijuana
launch commit
radio show.
Guidance is internal. Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. Power cleared.
We've got a roll program. The Medical Marijuana Radio Show is a production of the Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
You tuned in to that Medical Marijuana Show. 855-MMM Radio. Keep it legal, keep it legal, keep it legal, keep it legal. Hey. You tuned in to that Medical Marijuana Show. 855-MMM Radio. Keep it legal.
Folks, Denise ain't here. Got co-hosting Dennis. Good Lord. Jamie Lowell.
Okay. Steve is the host with the co-host Denise. Starting at noon Saturdays every week. Yes, we keepin' you legal. Legislators and lawyers, doctors and the growers. The show is for the people. Michigan medical marijuana, no hassle. We talk about anything, any issue we can handle. Call us up and let us know what is on your mind. And make sure when you do it legal every time. Hey. You tuned in to that medical marijuana show. 855.
Oh, welcome to another Medical Marijuana Radio Show. It's a crazy day. It's a crazy day. Got a weird start to the program. You know, we do this show every day during the week now. And, it was a morning show for a minute, and then I moved it to middays. Had to move it to noon because it seemed like more people were up and could participate. I couldn't even call California. It goes, back in time. It's, what is today, Jamie? Today's Saturday. It's December 3rd.
It is December 3rd, and it is a Saturday.
2011. It's the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. We're here usually every Saturday from noon until 1. It's been getting rougher, Jamie. It's been getting rougher to stay on the air.
I understand.
You know why? Because, Billy Bong is out there doing everything he can to keep... that's Bill Schuette, for you guys who don't... Billy Bong. The Attorney General. Chief Officer of Prosecution.
Yeah, he's the number one law enforcement individual in the state.
I got to use that term lightly because you see, when you go out and enforce the laws, you take the laws that are on the books and then you enforce them. You don't find laws and then try and dismantle them.
Well, we know somebody who does.
I want to sell Billy Bongs, dude. I really want to sell Billy Bongs. I'm sorry, I just want to do that. I think if you take somebody like that, and there's nothing he could do about it either. He's a public figure. We could use his likeness and his name. There's not a damn thing he could do about it. So I want to sell Billy Bongs. I think that would be awesome.
Well, you do bring up a good point that we need more PR on our side, and
right.
maybe not necessarily in that form. Although,
not getting an endorsement on the
totally
Billy
understand the entrepreneurial angle there, but we do
no,
need
it's
to get
not even.
more
I'm not even after
out.
money on that one. This is just about getting that face on a bong. I think that would be badass.
Okay.
I think when people are running around with their Billy Bongs and people go, why, I don't get the connection. Oh, don't you understand the story here? You got to tell them. I mean, in case people don't know, Bill Schuette, he's like the heir to the Dow Midland fortune. And he's also connected heavily, deeply invested into pharmaceutical companies. And then he also gets money from the big energy guys.
Private prisons.
And private prisons, too. He wants to put people in... Look, he's feeding his own monster. He is the meat puppet of Dow in the government. I mean, that's what he's here for. He doesn't give a crap about people. He doesn't give a crap about anybody. What Billy Bong is out to do is make sure that Dow has a future in this country. And it's not going to have much of a future if things like medical marijuana are passed.
I'm not even so sure it goes so far as him concerning himself with Dow. I think he's pretty much concerned with Bill Schuette.
Well, I mean, let's face it. Bill Schuette is Dow at this point. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, he's getting all that money. I mean, if you're that deeply invested into a company.
I completely understand.
Bill is Dow. Dow is Bill. Sure. I mean, so if Bill's out self-promoting, it's all about Dow. Connect the
Dow of Bill.
The Dow of Bill. Oh, I'd like to see that Dow of Bill crash. Anyway, on the program today, big news. It's not good news. It's not giant news. It's big news and it just happened. It's breaking news, but it's not. Well, a couple of things in the news. I'm not going to tell you what they are yet because we're about to go to break pretty quick. I'm just going to tease you about the news. So we got a couple of things in the news arena. Neither one of them are good. But so we got that going on. Also on the show today, Rick Thompson. Can we get Rick Thompson in here? Did we talk to him off the air?
We can.
No, well, so we were trying to get him on the air. I think I talked to him yesterday.
Dennis Alexander and Ben Horner may be checking in as well with a few things, and not all of it is bad news. So
there's some
midst
good
of some of this stuff, we can have some silver linings too.
Yeah, we're not the spreader of just bad tidings. Look, season's greetings to you. Happy holidays, Jamie.
Happy holidays to you.
When it's awfully hard to celebrate. Big Daddys is going to celebrate the Christmas. They got the big Christmas celebration going on down there. Mm-hmm. Thanks for the star on the Christmas tree, Mr. Schuette.
Well, it's not going to be as joyous as once believed, but people are still going to be standing strong.
I've never seen this community give up yet. And in a larger sense, if all this stuff ends up going down to court rulings and the divisive ways of the mechanical twistings of Bill Schuette, the people are just going to cram it back down his throat with something else. They're going to go back and end up doing something else.
There is a reaction every time he pours it on.
He's only working against himself. He doesn't really realize it. I mean, he's got rose-colored glasses on. His optics are starting to change with his own people. They're looking at him in a kind of funny way now.
He's dedicated his entire holiday newsletter that he puts out once a month to the issue of medical marijuana.
Specifically quoting Richard Clement Sr., saying, look, I'm going to read that. That's one of the things I wanted to tease in the news. I didn't want to tell you what it was yet. But I'd love to get Richard on to talk about that, because Richard's the guy that put the ballot language together for the petition to recall Bill Schuette.
Absolutely.
And he's been working really hard at it. He's been working. It's an uphill battle. It's such a hard job.
He's won. He's gotten the thing in the news 3 or 4 times now. It's been on the AP. The reasons that a lot of people are disgruntled with Schuette,
right,
have been exposed via this process, no matter what else happens.
So we're going to talk about Bill Schuette. We're going to talk about the news because they're connected this week. And we got these guests on. If you want to call the show, 810-423-2350. It's the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. Don't go away.
Steve and Denise will be right back on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show.
If you are a carded Michigan medical marijuana patient with a need for safe access but have reservations about privacy and discretion, there is an answer. It's the Ant Farm. The Ant Farm is Metro Detroit's trusted professional mobile transfer service. Write this toll-free number down, 888-369-3320. Lab-tested, mold and pesticide-free. It's the Ant Farm's convenience you'll try, but quality standards, privacy, and friendly professionals that will bring you back. The Ant Farm comes to you. Call for discreet details right away. 888-369-3320.
Medical marijuana certification. And now you can find out everything you need to know online at getpotid.com. or write down this toll-free number, 855-DOC-CERT. A friendly specialist will direct you to our Farmington Hills office. Medical marijuana certification. GetPotID.com. It's the key to getting your card. Information, resources, and in the end, if you're qualified, a medical card. Call toll-free right now, 855-DOC-CERT. That's 855-DOC-CERT. It's GetPotID.com.
The Greene Collective.
Hey, medical marijuana patients, it's time to discover what all the buzz is about in Ann Arbor.
The Greene Collective.
The Green Bee Collective is busy making sure your patient needs are met with high-quality, locally grown meds.
The Greene Bee Collective.
Get to know the information, the research, the benefit available to your condition.
The Greene Bee Collective.
Weekly specials in just minutes from downtown Ann Arbor and I-94.
The Greene Bee Collective.
The details are sweet at mmmgreenbee.com. Call 734-929-2553 now.
The Ohm of Medicine is a state-of-the-art facility in Ann Arbor where art and passion meet patience and safe quality access. Get to the place that has top-of-the-line security, atmosphere, art, and most importantly, a highly trained and caring, compassionate staff. And the convenience is clear. Ohm of Medicine is easy to get to in downtown Ann Arbor. Private, well-maintained, handicap-accessible restrooms, convenient, secure parking in 2 nearby lots with complimentary validation. The Ohm of Medicine. Log on to omofmedicine.org. Hey, Steve Greene here for the medical marijuana certifications at AMMP. They're the American Medical Marijuana Professionals. You'll find them just north of Utica Road on Gratiot in Roseville. Their address is 28349. Now, call-ins are welcome, but you're better off calling for an appointment. They have a toll-free number, 877-RX-420-99. That's 877-RX-420-99 for American Medical Marijuana Professionals. That's AMMP on Gratiot in Roseville.
The patient's place for medical marijuana education and safe access is Third Coast. Beautiful downtown Ypsilanti is where you can get safe, affordable access to education and materials concerning your specific needs and quality products designed to meet your exacting needs. It's the Third Coast, 19 North Hamilton in Ypsilanti. Convenient hours, friendly, professional, compassionate. Call Third Coast today, 734-487-5402. That's the Third Coast Compassion Center in downtown Ypsilanti, 734-487-5402.
The law offices of Targowski and Grow remind you to stand up for your rights. Always treat law enforcement with respect, but if you're detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, I respectfully invoke all of my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search or seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to talk to my attorneys, John Targowski and Daniel Grow. Targowski and Grow have the education and experience you need to be successful in Michigan courts. Call Targowski and Grow toll-free, 800-957-1069. The law offices of Targowski and Grow, 800-957-1069.
When I was young, I knew something was wrong. My mother would forget to pick me up from school.
Drugs and alcohol may make you forget your problems, and more.
Then she remembered something. Me! My mom worked hard to be in recovery, and now she is here for me. Hi, Mom!
You ready? Let's go! For drug and alcohol treatment for you or someone you love, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hell yeah. So we're back. It's 17 minutes after 12 o'clock. And with me in the studio is Jamie Lowell from Third Coast Compassion Center. They're on 19 North Hamilton in Ypsilanti, right? Oh, hell, I do this with Denise all the time. Now I'm doing it with you. I always forget to turn the mics on. Go ahead.
That's right.
That is correct. You are correct, Steve. Looked up the news. I'm sorry, that was my Ed McMahon impression. I do that every once in a while. Right. I'm a little strange, for sure.
I haven't picked up on that yet.
I make no bones about the strangeness. Look, I've always been this way. I've always been eccentric like this. I'm just logging into the email. You know, I can't type and talk at the same time. It's awful. Can you log me in there? Do the big voiceovers at Yahoo thing. Thank you, Jamie. I'm blind. And normally I set this up before the show, but I was a little late today. I forgot the wallet was not going to get in the building without a key card. So I had to spin back. And this is why, if you're listening to us on the stream, you're looking at the ceiling, because some stuff back at the house. Oh, well, this is just disassembled, isn't it? It's a train wreck. Oh, yeah. Put in the password. Here we go. So, Did it log me in? Oh, now can you do that part? We got to do this crazy extra login stuff. They're pulling up the news. And, I can't look at the thing right now. So if I can, I'll ask our show producer, Jeff, if he can look in there and see if we got if we've got a caller on the line. Because right now we're trying to log into the mail. We should have Rick Thompson on the phone. Can you tell us, Jeff? Yes, no?
He's ready.
Okay, cool. That's all I was looking for. So can we pull up? Here we go, Rick. Rick Thompson. Part of the news. And it's just, if you got some news for us, Rick, we didn't tell anybody anything. Can you tell us what's going on?
Sure can. First of all, good morning, good afternoon to all your listeners out there. Thanks for joining us with the Radio Weed Show today. The most important thing I can say is that we did reach a decision in the Big Daddy's Chesterfield Township case.
Oh, so it's the decision on the court case?
Yep, exactly. And that this decision really does not affect any facility other than Big Daddy's. It's very much unique to our situation only. The judge, just to provide some history, the Chesterfield Township has sued Big Daddy's in Chesterfield as a public nuisance. They originally put a zoning complaint on us in 2010, and then, according to the filings here, on July 29th, they filed against us formally as a nuisance. During the course of time, for various reasons, the chief of police joined the suit against us personally, and then the attorney general joined the suit against us personally. After some depositions were taken, there were 2 days of in-court evidentiary hearing, in which case a police officer testified about some undercover work that he had done, and some patients testified as to some of the experiences they had when they were pulled over by the police officers after they had left our facility. After the 2 days of evidentiary hearings, the judge stopped the proceedings in the middle and said, I've heard enough for right now. I need to get briefs filed by both sides by December 2nd, and then we will have oral arguments on December 20th, and I'll deliver my ruling after that.
And the ruling was dated November 30th, 2 days before the briefs were due. Is that right?
Yep. So for whatever reason, the Judge Foster has decided, instead of allowing both sides to submit their briefs on December 2nd as they were supposed to, he issued a decision in the case on November 30th. 2 days prior to the deadline he himself established for them to submit these briefs. He's made his decision without that additional input that he himself asked for, and he made this in violation of the time periods that he himself established in this case.
Well, this is disturbing because it seems to be part of a larger trend, and I'm not the most conspiratorial person in the world.
It doesn't take a guy too long to connect the dots, does it, guys?
Every time Shooty kind of gets involved or it's a court of appeals decision, it's not been good for us, and it's unnatural. This trend is just not right. There's something.
I will throw another little, and you're absolutely right with what you both said, Steve and Jamie Lowell. I will throw this extra little wrinkle in. Big Daddy's is about to switch counsel in the case, and that was well known to the court because our new counsel had been seeking court documents in regards to the case and had made it known that they were going to be the new counsel of record. It's possible that this decision was accelerated and was delivered prior to the date that we were going to switch counsel, because the fact that we switched counsel would have delivered all of these dates back, which means that the briefs wouldn't have been done on the 2nd, or if they would have been due a little bit just after that. And oral arguments probably would have been pushed from the 20th into 2012, which means that Judge Foster would have rendered his decision sometime in January of that year. If the goal was to get this whole thing wrapped up and off everybody's radar before that, this is the only way that could have taken place.
But, and I understand that, and that sounds reasonable, but that's injustice in lieu of maintaining a particular schedule, which also doesn't wash with us.
My statement would be that I think that this is part of in support of your mentioning of a larger conspiracy, Jamie, and that if they want to make sure, they being the Republican Party or the powers that be, the Snyder administration, wants the issue of medical marijuana to be off the table in 2012 and moving forward, that we don't have to deal with this anymore, wrapping this case up early would be one of their goals. And this is the only possible way I can see that they would have accomplished that.
But you're playing, look, there's a process, there's an order to our court system in the United States of America. And I just think that it's aberrant when you go in as a defender of the people and you number one, disassemble a law in a way that was not intended for your office to ever do. You're supposed to defend the law. You're supposed to stand behind the people's will, not dismantle it. That's the first thing. And then the whole thing about the Oakland County specifically, but it's really Bill Schuette's behind it.
Well, now we've discussed the timing of it and how this is how it makes no sense for him to render a decision. Now let's discuss the decision that he actually rendered. What he said was that there is no transfer allowed in law for a caregiver beyond that which exists as connected through the registry system. So that caregiver can only take care of his patients, 1 through 5, however many they are, and that is it. He cannot transfer to anyone beyond there, and certainly not do that for compensation. The thing that's important to realize is that Judge Foster did not come to a new conclusion on this. Judge Foster relies on People versus Bilsma, People versus Danto, People versus McQueen in order to make decisions. This is important to note because if he was making new rulings, it could have an effect on other facilities across the state. But because he's relying on existing case law and he's not drawing any new conclusions, these are the same rules that existed prior to this. And this is not the first nuisance ruling that has come down against the distribution center by a circuit court. So this is not even a new development statewide. Had they ruled in our favor in Big Daddys in Chesterfield, then that would have been a remarkable circumstance that would have had a statewide effect.
Who was the original complainant?
Shouldn't close anybody down. Should not have any kind of ripple effect whatsoever.
Who was the original complainant on the Chesterfield Township Big Daddy's case? The civil suit. It's a civil suit, right?
It is a civil suit. It's not a criminal suit at all. It's a civil suit.
So who was complaining?
The Charter Township of Chesterfield.
Okay.
Who was originally the only litigant. Then the additional plaintiff of Chief Bruce Smith was added. When it was pointed out that the township could not actually file a nuisance against us, it has to be a citizen.
They tried to originally sue without a plaintiff.
And then when they discovered that they were not going to have any success with that ploy also, the Attorney General of Michigan came in and joined on the lawsuit. And lo and behold.
So it was literally Bill Schuette that was the plaintiff in this case.
I beg your pardon?
It was literally Bill Schuette that was the plaintiff in this case.
Yes, he was one of them.
His name appears directly on the face of the court order, the opinion and order. His name, Bruce Smith's name, just in the Charter Township of Chesterfield as plaintiffs.
I'm sorry, but I just want to know how much butt licking went on over this. They're just seriously between the there's just this smells higher of fish than I've ever smelled before.
I got to tell you that those of us that were in the courtroom are incredibly surprised by this entire thing.
I was there, and I am stunned.
Judge Foster made mention of several issues that he had with this case, including what he considered to be an inappropriate use of police officers as a discovery tool.
Yep.
Some influence peddling, he thought, with the Attorney General's office getting the Michigan State Crime Lab to come down on a civil case to testify to the validity of
a nuisance case, nonetheless. A nuisance civil case.
And he said, whereas they can't get them to come down for important criminal cases.
Murder trials. They can't get them to come down on a murder case.
So none of those things that he mentioned in court, which were very significant to him at that moment, are reflected in this opinion and order, which leads me to believe that all of the things that made him angry had to be cast aside because he was directed from someone to arrive at a certain conclusion. And had he mentioned any of those things, it could have prejudiced this opinion, and therefore he was instructed to leave all of that out.
Certainly what it seems like after experiencing.
Been able to rule as he wants to. After hearing the briefs and the oral arguments, we would have come down in our favor.
So this was a clever way of having to make his own decision.
Well, I believe they wanted to have this resolved prior to this season. This is not in isolation. There's other things going on, too.
Right.
The Attorney General just sent out what we could charitably call a Christmas card the other day to certain people on his email listing, which was about 6 or 7 paragraphs long, one of which was an introductory paragraph, one of which was a conclusion paragraph, and the other 4 to 6 paragraphs were just slamming medical marijuana in the state of Michigan and talking about his particular accomplishment so much. And the theme of the entire letter was, hey, there's this terrible recall against me by all of these weed warriors, and I want you to not believe the hype that you're hearing from these weed warriors.
Oh, you're stealing my thunder, Rick.
The recall. Yep. So who knows how many hundreds or thousands of people that this email greeting went out to. It cited himself as Attorney General and also cited his wife which is an inappropriate connection when discussing a political issue like this. I just think it's not correct use of its time, and it's not correct use of government resources. But take along with that introduction of a new Senate bill, which the Senate bill seeks to change the recall laws to make it more difficult for you to recall elected officials.
And that they were successful in southern Genesee. There was a representative who was recalled, and there's going to be a supplement election during the Republican primaries in February. And a little bit late, a few minutes from now, hopefully we'll be speaking with Ben Horner, who's one of the possible candidates to take in that.
I have to tell you that if they are fighting the recall effort in the Senate floor to make it more difficult to do recalls. Bill Schuette is sending out a Christmas card saying, hey, don't believe the stuff you hear over the Christmas break about me and from the Weed Warriors. It's all just a bunch of crap. And then he influences the court system to get this thing taken care of before December even begins so that he doesn't have any negative publicity from this during the holiday season. It seems to me like the Attorney General is doing an awful lot of image management
We're getting
prior
to him.
to the Christmas season. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
I think he might have been very afraid about this whole thing with the nuisance case out there. There's something that went on. There was some guy sticking some pins in a voodoo doll about this whole thing going on in Chesterfield Township. Any layperson that looks at the situation in that court case and then finds this outcome would go, wait, what?
Well, every single person that we have talked to just drops open when we tell them what the resolution was, because those of us that were in the court system know that the judge was so firm in his disgust with the plaintiffs there. He was not impressed by the Attorney General's representative and his contribution. They tried to introduce newspaper articles and CDs and video clips from things that have been done outside of the courtroom, and the judge said, you're not allowed to do that. They tried to manipulate evidence, and he called them on it. So we know that the judge, at the moment evidentiary hearing was going on, was very much in favor for our position and disgusted with the way that it had been conducted by the other side.
Well, and if he was leaning any other way...
The way that it did, it's really a gross bastardization of what everyone believed his true position was.
And I think that's confirmed by the fact that he didn't make any efforts whatsoever to interrupt operation up until the actual ruling that came out early and unexpectedly and not seemingly coming from him and his attitude and behavior before that point.
More importantly, here's what I think something should happen. There's got to be some judicial oversight, some oversight over the judiciary. So somebody needs to hold some hearings in the state house or in the state senate, some house judiciary hearings to find out what the heck was going on there. They need to call that judge in and say what the hell happened there.
Not likely.
Reason for expediency. Because the police chief itself have already ruled or had already given testimony that there were no registered complaints against the Big Daddies by the public. Therefore, there's no reason to believe that by shutting us down then, instead of in a week or 2 weeks or 4 weeks or 6 weeks, that the public would have been harmed in any possible way. There was no evidence presented by either side that anything negative had ever transpired within these walls, with the possible exception of a violation of an interpretation of the law.
Right.
No physical harm, no criminal charges, nothing.
Well, so people know.
There's no reason for him to accelerate this decision the way he did.
Right. So, Rick, so people know what are the different ways that somebody can consider.
Look, we got 2 minutes left before break. Just keep that in mind.
What's a different way that a township or a city can consider a business a nuisance? And you guys were considered a nuisance because they determined, based on a different interpretation of laws, you said that you were operating illegally.
Yeah, there are 3 different tenets that can determine a nuisance. One of them is if the business is illegal in nature that's running. The second is if that business denigrates the fabric and nature of society, or that if that business is an immediate threat to citizens in the community. Now, we're certainly not an immediate threat. There's no fireworks going off outside. No one's being damaged on the front steps. Nothing like that. We're not denigrating society. There's no evidence of that at all. So their only way that they could prove what they wanted to say was that our business was illegal. And he didn't even do that. He just relied on other courts' previous decisions in order to prove the point that the Attorney General had been trying to make.
Nobody offered any evidence that the business model was illegal.
That is correct. They didn't even discuss our business model. It was never even entered into
and this
what
is,
our model is.
Look, we got a minute, just like seconds before break. I just want to get this idea in because it's so important. If If you're going to let your country's government go so awry, so amok, that a judge sets up an order and a process to find a fair resolution to a situation and then interrupts himself, apparently according to something that happened between now and the time of the first hearing, that's just corrupt. And we got to get to the bottom of it. I'm going to bring in state senators on this. We got to go to break. We'll be right back. It's the Medical Marijuana Radio Show.
More of your calls next on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. The Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
Hey, Steve Greene here for the Medical Marijuana Certifications at AMMP. They're the American Medical Marijuana Professionals. You'll find them just north of Utica Road on Gratiot in Roseville. Their address is 28349. Now, call-ins are welcome, but you're better off calling for an appointment. They have a toll-free number, 877-RX-420-99. That's 877-RX-420-99 for American Medical Marijuana Professionals. That's AMMP on Gratiot in Roseville.
The Greene Collective.
Hey, medical marijuana patients, it's time to discover what all the buzz is about in Ann Arbor.
The Greene Collective.
The Green Bee Collective is busy making sure your patient needs are met with high-quality, locally grown meds.
The Greene Bee Collective.
Get to know the information, the research, the benefit available to your condition.
The Greene Bee Collective.
Weekly specials in just minutes from downtown Ann Arbor and I-94.
The Greene Bee Collective.
The details are sweet at mmmgreenbee.com. Call 734-929-2553 now.
Well, this formula is specifically to grow cannabis.
That's Ray Kogo for Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients.
Now, everybody knows that large buds and tight buds come from genetics, and then the amount of light you use. The other part is having the correct nutrients that the plant's going to use. Mine specifically to grow cannabis, so it's going to get everything that it needs.
Ray knows what you may not. Those nutrient companies you can get in most grow shops are not cannabis specific. That means they take the stuff out of the bloom that your plant needs in bloom. You can get Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients too. It's just 2 1-gallon jugs that make over 600 gallons of nutrients, all for less than $100. See the difference for yourself.
More trichomes, bigger buds, faster growth, and for less money.
Go to CANNABISformula.com or call Ray direct at 517-375-8998. That's 517-375-8998. Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients. Medical Marijuana Certification. And now you can find out everything you need to know online at getpotid.com. Or write down this toll-free number, 855-DOC-CERT. A friendly specialist will direct you to our Farmington Hills office. Medical Marijuana Certification. GetPotID.com. It's the key to getting your card. Information, resources, and in the end, if you're qualified, a medical card. Call toll-free right now, 855-DOC-CERT. That's 855-DOC-CERT. It's GetPotID.com.
The Patient's Place for medical marijuana education and safe access is Third Coast. Beautiful downtown Ypsilanti is where you can get safe, affordable access to education and materials concerning your specific needs and quality products designed to meet your exacting needs. It's the Third Coast, 19 North Hamilton in Ypsilanti. Convenient hours, friendly, professional, compassionate. Call Third Coast today, 734-487-5402. That's the Third Coast Compassion Center in downtown Ypsilanti, 734-487-5402.
The law offices of Targowski and Grow remind you to stand up for your rights. Always treat law enforcement with respect, but if you're detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, I respectfully invoke all of my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search or seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to talk to my attorneys, John Targowski and Daniel Grow. Targowski and Grow have the education and experience you need to be successful in Michigan courts. Call Targowski and Grow toll-free, 800-957-1069. The law offices of Targowski and Grow, 800-957-1069. The Ohm of Medicine is a state-of-the-art facility in Ann Arbor where art and passion meet patience and safe quality access. Get to the place that has top-of-the-line security, atmosphere, art, and most importantly, a highly trained and caring, compassionate staff. And the convenience is clear. Ohm of Medicine is easy to get to in downtown Ann Arbor. Private, well-maintained, handicap-accessible restrooms, convenient, secure parking in 2 nearby lots with complimentary validation. The Ohm of Medicine. Log on to omofmedicine.org.
It's the Medical Marijuana Radio Show.
Kicking ass and taking names, chiefly Bill Shooties. Did you notice his initials are BS? Anyone? That's what he's shoveling out, guys. And it's not just the medical marijuana guys that are PO'd over this guy. There's a whole bunch of other guys that do not like Bill Schuette for a number of reasons. So, moving along, we got Rick Thompson online. Rick, I want to get you get in and out with you. We got 10 minutes left in this segment, a short segment after that, and we're out for the day. So, I wanted to get in the rest of this that you were talking about. Go, Rick, you there?
Steve?
Oh, there we are. It took this producer a second to get you on.
Sure, but I just want everyone to realize that unlike the McQueen case, which was a decision based on a particular business model, this decision in this particular case is not the same, and it does not affect other distribution centers across the state. It doesn't affect any other types of businesses, and no one else should be worried about their particular scenario as a result of this. This, unfortunately, is just proof that Bill Schuette's nuisance technique of shutting down facilities is going to be successful in courts across the state, and that is something everyone should be worried about. But they shouldn't treat this in any way, shape, or form in the way that we treated the McQueen decision.
I don't think so. I think there's going to be some judge somewhere that stands up and has the balls to say, oh, no, you're not going to make me, interrupt the process here. I think this is a one-time fluke, the thing that happened with Big Daddies out there in Chesterfield Township with this particular judge.
Right.
Because
and again, I don't think anyone should be worried about this as their own. But we have seen other nuisance suits be successful in other circuit courts across the state. So ours was not the first nuisance filed. Ours was not the first nuisance that was successful. And unfortunately, based on the Clearing the Air seminar and the cut and paste nuisance lawsuit template that was given out to all the attendees there, I'm sure this is not the last nuisance suit we'll see.
I'm going to go. Before you say something, Jamie, I just want to say I'm bringing in the judiciary on this. I'm going to bring in some of these guys with the. I'm going to call the senators and I'm going to call some legislators and have them look at this particular situation and look into that, because this is highly irregular judge work.
Yes, I agree.
In the appeal to on McQueen by the Newburgh law, it does point out this unnatural trend of decisions in the Court of Appeals. This is not one of those, but it seems to be part of the same trend.
Yeah.
I also just want to really appreciate you guys at Big Daddy's for these fights. I mean, this one didn't come out successful, but you took them on. You told them that was not right, and that's really appreciated by the entire community. So thanks a lot for that, and make sure everybody else over there knows that.
Well, thank you very much for saying that, and I know no one likes to be the first one. No one likes to be the guy that has to be the test case. But leaders go first, damn it, and we're willing to accept that role as long as we're able to.
Look, and you don't have failure without or you don't have success without first having failure. That's one of the number one rules of business, isn't it, Rick?
I agree with that 100%.
So count this as a loss in the win column, because it's building towards success.
Mm-hmm. I agree. That's a glass half full kind of an attitude, and that's what we need to have in the medical marijuana field right now. We're in the marijuana legalization field right now. The truth of the matter is, we know that greener pastures await us in just a short time, but there is going to be some rough travel to get there. It's not all paved expressways. We're going to have some pretty bad dirt roads.
Right. One of the things we can do, though, is be aware of the votes, take advantage of opportunities. And I believe Ben Horner is ready to talk to us here for a couple minutes.
Real quick, I wanted to give Rick the opportunity to say Merry Christmas to everybody. Are you guys still doing your Christmas party out there at Big Daddy's? Are you still going to do that, Rick?
Yeah, actually, that is going to go on at the scheduled time and place for those invited guests that received the invitations. Right?
And this is a holiday party, please. We don't just call it a Christmas party.
Well, I'm sorry, a holiday party. You know what I'm saying?
Holiday, exactly right. But the most important thing I'd like to say is a Merry Christmas to everybody. I don't mind saying it. Happy holidays to those, and make sure that you give extra attention to your patients this season. They may be a little bit extra down in the dumps. They may be a little extra blue because they've been paying attention to the news, and they need a little extra compassion this year than they did last. But let's look forward to next year and having a holiday season in 2012 that is free from stress and strife.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Rick Thompson from Forum Magazine and Big Daddies out there in Chesterfield Township and other places. You still got other locations, right, Rick?
Sure do. We still open in Burton, still open in Detroit, still open in Sandusky.
Peace out, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks a lot, Rick.
Sure, guys. Thanks.
Welcome to the show, Ben Horner from Michigan Organic Solutions. Ben.
Hi.
So now, did you hear what's going on here? I mean,
I am so upset with what has happened in Chesterfield. I cannot believe the judge flopped. I mean, he totally flip-flopped. He was
No, I don't think he flip-flopped. I don't think he flip-flopped at all. He just did something totally different than his original plan, which is to have testimony and rule on this. Instead, he just relied on a former case.
Or flip-flopped.
Well, I mean, no, flip-flopping means you actually had to take a position. He didn't take a position.
Well, we didn't know it for sure, but he certainly came off as if Chesterfield and the Attorney General were not proving anything, and we are all buying into that. This is why this is so stunning.
I totally believed, I think everybody totally believed that there was no way in hell they could prove this case, and this is why I say this smacks to hell of fish. Because if you can't prove your case, the only thing that Bill can do as Attorney General is put pressure on the judge to rule in a different way. Look, this won't have any effect on you, but I'm telling you right now, I'm going to make it tough on you in your court or something. I don't know what you could do. I'm just saying this.
He's got some power to do something because it's being done. This is not natural.
He made him rule on based not on that, but just rely on a previous court case. Not even consider anything before him. I don't know why he just didn't dismiss the case in the first place. But anyway, Ben.
Yes.
As it relates, did you also hear that there was a couple of closures of a couple more places? This is also bad news. This is in Walled Lake. I don't know if it was raids that went down or I don't know if they got cease and desists, but for whatever reason, they're both closed. The Big Daddy, the A&N Apothecary, and then there's another one out there. What is it? What's it called, Jamie?
Bazanbos or something similar.
Bazanzos.
Bonzos?
Bazanzos, okay. I wasn't familiar with either of these places before they happened, which is a good sign. It means there's so much going on out there that I'm not even aware of it, but it is very unfortunate that more places were closed down. It's upsetting.
Yeah.
Is there any good news at all? Can you tell us some good news, Jamie?
Well, I think there's a couple things. One, since Ben is on here right now, we discussed about a successful recall effort in southern Genesee County, which means that there is a seat now available. And this happens to be the district in which Ben Horner lives.
Hey.
One of the candidates that is being considered by the Greene Party to run in the supplemental election. And I believe it's between Ben Horner and a woman named Carrie Justice, who is an excellent candidate in her own right. And the decision will be out early next week. Ben, what's going on with that?
Well, right now, they're doing the caucusing process, and we'll know probably around 9 p.m. on Sunday, tomorrow, what the final results are. And either way,
you're talking about the Green Party caucus, yes?
Yeah, we're going to have an excellent candidate. Carrie is the Genesee County normal chapter leader and contact person, and she's been working as an activist for a long time. I've been working on this Vote Green Initiative project. Either way, we're going to be combining forces to help get the word out there that right now the best chance of success is to engage the political process as heavily as we can. We need to encourage as many patients and caregivers to when appropriate, run for office, run for delegate seats. That's the only way we're going to be able to, show the people in Lansing that if they're going to go against the will of the people, then they're going to lose their jobs. Because,
absolutely,
effectively what Bill Schuette is doing is saying that the will of the people is unacceptable. And the only way to check that socially is for us to engage the political process and vote him out.
He certainly turns a lot of people off whenever he pulls one of these things. People who don't normally even consider medical marijuana all that much, they just see the abuse of power, and they don't like that. And he makes enemies every time he does something like this. And of course, you're right. What we do have on our side is the truth and the ability to vote, and it's a matter of time before we straighten this out.
What area is that 51st District cover, Ben?
All right, that's in Atlas Township, Mundy Township, Grand Blanc Township, Atlas Township, and so that's Grand Blanc, Fenton, Linden, Argentine, Goodrich.
A lot of communities surrounding Flint area.
Yeah. It's like the southern Flint suburbs.
Can you stick with us to the break, Ben? We're hitting break here. We want to come back and talk a little bit more about the news. Can you hang on for a second, or you got to go?
Sure. Well, I can just stay on a little bit longer.
All right, give us a sec. We'll be right back with you on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. Don't go away, folks.
Got something to say?
Call now toll free, 855-MMM-Radio. The Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
If you are a carded Michigan medical marijuana patient with a need for safe access but have reservations about privacy and discretion, there is an answer. It's the Ant Farm. The Ant Farm is Metro Detroit's trusted professional mobile transfer service. Write this toll-free number down, 888-369-3320. Lab-tested, mold and pesticide-free. It's the Ant Farm's convenience you'll try, but quality standards, privacy, and friendly professionals that will bring you back. The Ant Farm comes to you. Call for discreet details right away. 888-369-3320. Medical marijuana certification. And now you can find out everything you need to know online at getpotid.com. Or write down this toll-free number, 855-DOC-CERT. A friendly specialist will direct you to our Farmington Hills office. Medical marijuana certification. GetPotID.com. It's the key to getting your card. Information, resources, and in the end, if you're qualified, a medical card. Call toll-free right now, 855-DOC-CERT. That's 855-DOC-CERT. It's GetPotID.com. Hey, medical marijuana patients, it's time to discover what all the buzz is about in Ann Arbor. The Greene Bee Collective. The Greene Bee Collective is busy making sure your patient needs are met with high-quality, locally grown meds. The Greene Bee Collective. Get to know the information, the research, the benefit available to your condition. The Greene Bee Collective. Weekly specials in just minutes from downtown Ann Arbor and I-94. The Greene Bee Collective. The details are sweet at mmmgreenbee.com. Call 734-929-2553 now.
The Ohm of Medicine is a state-of-the-art facility in Ann Arbor where art and passion meet patience and safe quality access. Get to the place that has top-of-the-line security, atmosphere, art, and most importantly, a highly trained and caring, compassionate staff. And the convenience is clear. Ohm of Medicine is easy to get to in downtown Ann Arbor. Private, well-maintained, handicap-accessible restrooms, convenient, secure parking in 2 nearby lots with complimentary validation. The Ohm of Medicine. Log on to omofmedicine.org. Hey, Steve Greene here for the Medical Marijuana Certifications at AMMP. They're the American Medical Marijuana Professionals. You'll find them just north of Utica Road on Gratiot in Roseville. Their address is 28349. Now, call-ins are welcome, but you're better off calling for an appointment. They have a toll-free number, 877-RX-420-99. That's 877-RX-420-99 for American Medical Marijuana Professionals. That's AMMP on Gratiot in Roseville.
The patient's place for medical marijuana education and safe access is Third Coast. Beautiful downtown Ypsilanti is where you can get safe, affordable access to education and materials concerning your specific needs and quality products designed to meet your exacting needs. It's the Third Coast, 19 North Hamilton in Ypsilanti. Convenient hours, friendly, professional, compassionate. Call Third Coast today, 734-487-5402. That's the Third Coast Compassion Center in downtown Ypsilanti, 734-487-5402.
The law offices of Targowski and Grow remind you to stand up for your rights. Always treat law enforcement with respect, but if you're detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, I respectfully invoke all of my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search or seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to talk to my attorneys, John Targowski and Daniel Grow. Targowski and Grow have the education and experience you need to be successful in Michigan courts. Call Targowski and Grow toll-free, 800-957-1069. The law offices of Targowski and Grow, 800-957-1069.
When I was young, I knew something was wrong. My mother would forget to pick me up from school.
Drugs and alcohol may make you forget your problems and more.
Then she remembered something. Me. My mom worked hard to be in recovery, and now she is here for me. Hi, Mom.
You ready? Let's go. For drug and alcohol treatment for you or someone you love, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
This is a great tune. If you ever got a chance to listen to the words to that song, they ring true. So it's 6 minutes before 1 o'clock. Welcome back to the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. Rick Thompson's still on. Rick, can we get in and out with you? We got to go to Ben. Oh, we got Ben. We just got Ben now. It looks like Rick disappeared. Is he still there? What's going on? I don't know. So let's just go to Ben.
Hey, Steve. One thing I wanted to say while we're on the air is, we're going to be doing the first annual Medical Marijuana Awards January 29th at the Clarion Hotel in Ann Arbor. And I think people can go to your website to nominate your favorite candidate.
Well, we haven't got that set up yet. I mean, the nominations are going to cost you. We haven't figured that out yet. We've still got to talk about all that.
Okay, well, make sure we get that put together because it's in the magazine and it's hitting the streets today.
Wow, the issue went out today?
Yeah, it's just going out today. So, I right now on the air want to nominate Jamie Lowell.
Yes,
for Medical Marijuana Activist of the Year. It's and I also want to nominate Rick Thompson as being the best editor-in-chief of a magazine.
Hey, look at that! Look, Ben's throwing in his own chips. He's throwing in his own hat.
Hey, everyone should check out the cover of the new issue here. It's really cool. I got to see it the other day.
The Michigan Medical Marijuana Magazine,
the MMM report.
MMR, yeah.
Yeah. It's got Santa there, and he's in front of a fireplace, and there's a stocking of Bill Schuette's full of coal. And it says Bill Schuette is on the naughty list.
Oh, I love it! I love it.
We've got an article in there, and you turn to the article, and there's a picture of Bill Schuette there, exactly how as I see him. It's this evil incarnate.
That's great.
And I'm really kind of excited about this issue because it's an important time of year, the holidays, everyone celebrating
right.
Christmas and Hanukkah, and Kwanzaa, and
everything else Christmassy.
Well, everything it's that time of year.
Yes,
and we just this is the time of year when we think about how we want to
holidays.
Respect our families and respect our neighbors, and we think about things like what would Jesus do, and then we look at Bill Schuette.
Yeah, we've only got 4 minutes left in the show, and I got Paul Tylenda on the phone. We want to get him on too. Can we point people to your website and show people how they can get involved with Ben and the gang out there at Michigan Organic Solutions
and the Vote Green Initiative
and the Vote Green Initiative, the whole thing?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I know if you go on your website, there's a banner there for the Vote Green Initiative project.
Yep, that'll take you right there.
And that's, me and, many other people. Jamie, thank you for your help. And Rick and Steve, thank you for your help for your efforts with the Vote Green Initiative project. We're going to be doing a lot of work in January, getting the vote out, involved in the special election. Regardless of what candidate it's going to be, it's an opportunity to make national headlines as a referendum. So we're going to be out there and we're going to be trying to educate the public about what's going on because there's a lot at stake here.
Thank you, and happy holidays to you, Ben Horner from Michigan Organic Solutions.
Thanks a lot, Ben.
Hopefully soon to be a candidate for the 51st District House seat.
All right. Thank you, Steve.
All right, thank you.
See you later, man. Thank you.
Moving on to just seconds left in the show. God, it goes so fast, doesn't it?
Paul, there's 2 minutes left, man. Give us all of the answers that we need to solve all these problems.
Well, a lot of these decisions, they come as a blow, but not as a surprise because
you said it, brother. These decisions blow.
That's very true. But a lot of these judges don't have the guts to necessarily make these decisions, make them properly. They take the easy way out. They take the cop out. They also take a method that says, okay, well, I can make a decision without making a decision. I can put forth an opinion without having to harm both sides, without having to sort of draw the line in the sand. We saw that earlier this week with the Lott case, and, we saw it yesterday with the Big Daddys case. The Big Daddys case, it's my understanding that ultimately the judge says, okay, well, you can be a hydro store, and that's not a problem, and you can be a compassion club, and that's not a problem. But any transfers that are taking place to people who are not registered with each other through the state's registry process does qualify as a nuisance, and they have to stop.
It did not look like he was headed that direction, though. So how common is it to listen to a judge and really think that you're heading in a certain direction and then have the ruling be completely opposite?
And not based on testimony before he did this, didn't even take into account the hearings he had set up.
Well, and that's the funny thing. And a lot of it is, when you get to these lower-level judges, they make quick and easy decisions. They, in a sense, have said, okay, well, my opinion is very, very narrow, and I'm only going to, do a very, very quick and easy job of what I have to decide, just so it can move on to the next level.
Literally 30 seconds left, Paul. I want to give you at least give you a plug to your law firm. How can people get a hold of Paul Tylenda?
You can give me a call at 313-802 888-9873. Be happy to help, answer any questions, or guide people in the right direction, and hopefully bring some sanity to this uneven world we live in here.
You've been a great help and a great friend to this community,
Thank
Paul
you very much,
Tylenda,
Paul.
and we will nominate you for one of the lawyer positions in the medical marijuana awards. I don't know.
That'd be great. I'd nominate you guys as well. I think you guys are, anybody. You guys have done a great job with everything you've done, and I really appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Paul. We got to
Thanks a
go.
lot, man.
We're hitting the end of the show, folks. Find us at RadioWeedShow.com. We'll see you next time. Happy holidays for the Medical Marijuana Radio Show.
The Medical Marijuana Radio Show and RadioWeedShow.com are trademarks. Copyright 2011.
The comments, ideas, and opinions expressed in the preceding program are those of the show participants only. Nothing stated in this program reflects the ideas, opinions, or beliefs of this radio station and or Clear Channel Radio.
Identify.